Again. All right. Welcome to 1314. Here's our class. Here's our class playlist. Our welcome message, which you all should have gotten yesterday. This is where it says your Pearson. We're going to access Pearson. So does everyone see this access Pearson? Okay. If you click open Pearson, it should, oh, we haven't activated it. Sorry. Let's go to content so you can activate it. So we're going to click on content. If that content hyperlink doesn't work for whatever reason, it's just telling you to click on the content button at the top. That's where our course begins at. It's moving a little slow. It's thinking about it. Oh, guys, I'm telling you, I was about to really freak out because I was like, where's my stuff? Who stole it? But anyways, here we go. Our overview. You see it now? Everyone sees the overview? Okay, cool. Here's our overview. So it kind of gives you an outline of what everything we're going to cover week by week. Okay. So as you can see, every week has something for us to be doing, learning taking place. Yes. Um, your weekly discussion board, whether it's an exit ticket, a bell ringer, a quick check, those are usually due at the end of the week. That's how your attendance is taken if you're online, but it's also supposed to be a helpful grade. Like it gives me a snapshot of, okay, maybe I need to answer this, or we need to talk about this, or it's an opportunity for you to know if you need to reach out to me because you can't do that. Does that make sense? And so that's why we have those. It's meant to be a collaborative space so that you can help each other, talk to each other, and navigate through. Okay. Um, Next, you can set your own bookmarks. So as you're learning and you're like, oh, I want to come back to that, make it a bookmark. If it's something or a place you stopped at, create the bookmarks within the course so that you can come back to that spot and pick up where you're left off at. Okay. That's pretty helpful. Our course schedule, this just gives you an overview of what is due and when things are coming up. If you click full schedule, you will see any due dates or once things start all at once populate. I do have to go in and reset some of the dates, but for the most part, I think I'm like at least 2 weeks ahead on setting your dates correctly. And so I will continue to change and update them. All right. When you click on table of contents, this is just all of your course at once. That's all that table of contents is. I like the collapse all feature because it allows you to jump to the different units and sections, but you can see our course all at a glance and then go to where you need to start at. Do you see where it says start here? That's where you start at. Okay. Start here is where we begin. This has our instructor plan. So it has our instructor plan is just a fancy way of saying our syllabus, right? But it goes over our class requirements, what we're doing, what will take place, how to communicate with me, office hours, all the things and important stuff that you need to know. What I do want to highlight in here is the use of the calculator. So we do not use okay, correction. We do use an online calculator. However, it is a TI-84. Okay, and I'm going to show you where that online calculator is. My style of teaching, how this is all of our resources. We are an all-inclusive course. So when you pay for this course, that includes all of your resources. Your textbook is online, your notes, learning, everything is completely online and at your access. So course objectives, you can read through all of that. Our course attendance policy, again, I take attendance based on your what? Discussion participation. So if you did not participate in discussion for the week, then you were absent for that week. Does that make sense? Okay. Course outline is at the bottom. Let's talk about our scale. So as far as our grades and our weights, our online homework, that is 20% of your grade. So your My Math Lab is 20% of your grade. Any incomplete assignments will be result in a 0. If your homework is due the day of your test, okay? Homework can be turned in a day late with a 5% penalty. Well, multiple days, so it's like 5% off for every day you turn it in late. Does that make sense? Eventually, My Math Lab will like say basically you're getting nothing. You can keep trying, but it is what it is. Your weekly quizzes. So your weekly quizzes are timed open note assessments. There are no makeup quizzes, and your lowest 2 are dropped at the end of the semester. I don't do any drops until the very end, like literally right before finals is when all the drops go in. Okay. Your discussion board is 10% of your grade. For your discussion board, students have 1 week to complete the assigned discussion boards. No late discussion boards are accepted. And the reason why you have a week to do it is because, again, that is your main attendance for our class. Um, and then there are opportunities built in for extra credit in different areas. But full credit, follow the instructions on the discussion board post. We have 6 tests. They are 40% of your grade. Okay. They are over each chapter. And so we'll have a chapter 1 through 6 test. And it is encouraged for you to do all of your homework and make sure you're completing your homework to at least a 75%. You have unlimited attempts on your homework. So you can make 100 on your homework or you cannot. It's really up to you. There are no makeup tests given. So if you know that you're going to be absent before a test, you need to communicate that so that you can take the test prior to. The other thing is if you do miss one test or you fail a test, your final exam plays double duty. Okay. Your final exam is 10% of your grade, but also your final exam can replace your lowest or missed test grade if you score higher on your final exam than one of them. Okay. Your final exam is 10% of your grade. When you are participating in discussion boards, be cordial, be helpful, just follow the rules and participate weekly. Homework is pretty self-explanatory. Do your homework, weekly quizzes, do your quizzes, tests. They're going to be on Brightspace, online, or My Math Lab. So your tests are either on Brightspace or they're in My Math Lab. Okay. You just got to pay attention to where they're located. And I will send updates on when we get closer to tests. Went over the late work policy. If you miss 20% of the class, so there's 15 instructional weeks in our class. If you miss 20% of those 15, then you are at risk of being dropped from the class. Okay. So that's where your weekly discussion board assignments come into play. Every online professor has their rules for how attendance is taken there. Yeah, so those are the main things that I want to make sure we're good and comfortable with. And anything you need is available here. So I'm going to click next because this is a module-based class and it takes me to the next thing. I put the course schedule in there again. Your syllabus got in there twice. If you have any technology issues, I'm not the person to fix them. Okay. If you're stuck technology-wise, you're going to contact MCC. Okay. If it's a My Lab thing, then I will try my best to help you with Pearson. But for the most part, that's for them. And then you can read through your academic policies that should be posted in all of your Brightspaces. So we're not going to go through that. Now we're going to go to where it says Students MML Homework. This is where we're going to activate our My Math Lab. So do you see where it says My Math Lab Course Materials? You're going to click that guy. It's going to give you a thing that says you have to continue in a new window. And you're going to continue in a new window. Now, because I'm pretending to be a student, I don't know how far it's going to let me go. But it may let me go all the way, just for the sake of, Why not? It's thinking. It's thinking. It's probably going to log me in as myself. But you should get a page with loading instructions. You're going to read it. And once you get here, it'll say, do you want to take a tour? Oh, no, you're not a real person. I'm not. Okay. I'm not. But you should get to a window that allows you to keep going. Notice it says to keep this window open. So when you're in My Math Lab, make sure you keep your Brightspace open. Okay. It prevents it from losing connections and glitches. All right. So when you're in that one, keep it open. Keep both windows open. If it bothers you, you can minimize this one, but keep it still open. Don't close that window out. Cool. All right. So once you get that started, remember how I told you there's a little Pearson button on the homepage? Once you've activated your Pearson, then you can use that to go straight to your assignment. Okay. I will also go in. I typically will add your assignments into the modules. So in your modules, I will go in and add your assignment. So I've already put your section 1.1 for you. So even if you didn't want to go into Pearson, you can click from here once you've activated your Pearson. Okay. And then these links will work for you to do your work as well. All right. So again, module learning means that we go in order. So these are listed in the order that you should complete them. That's why it's called a module-based class. So you can see here, we have our notes. There's additional video step notes. There's our exit ticket, our homework, and then on to the next section. And then additional notes, homework, and then there's a quiz that will open up on Friday. Okay. And then on to the next unit. So we just keep going. And next week, we will be doing 1.3 and 1.4, and we'll be finishing those. Your test, your first test for this unit is actually going to be a take-home test because it's supposed to be quick and easy. So you'll have next weekend to complete the test. If you don't complete the test over the weekend, then that's a 0 you just earned, and we keep it pushing. Okay. I'm going to put a thing here for you to check your browser to make sure your windows are good before you take the test. So please make sure you check your browser because you don't want to try to take the test and then something goes wrong. You want to make sure before you take the test that your computer is in good condition for you to do so. Okay. And that will be our unit 1. And then after unit 1, we'll move on to unit 2. And then in unit 2, I'll do the same thing. I'll build it out and all the stuff will be put in there. Okay. So I'll put in your discussion. I'll put in your quizzes. I'll put in the homework but your homework you can access anytime. All of your homework is unlocked already. So if you're an overachiever and you're bored and you want to I'm just going to do all my homework, go for it. I won't stop you. The only thing that is not are your discussions. Let's talk about your grades. This class, you automatically start with a 0. Okay. Everyone starts with a 0. And therefore, your grade can never be lower than what you see. Your grade can only go up. All right. It's going to start off really low. And that's just because you're like, why do I got a 10? Well, we've only done 10% of the class. If you have a 10, that means you've been doing all of your work. You've been making good grades, right? So keeping that in mind, your goal is to build your grade. All right. So as you complete your work, it's going to fill in like for your homework. As you do your homework, these grades naturally go up on their own. Okay. It auto upgrades your grades for your homework. So yeah, I still have some jumbled things. Why do I do the 0? So in this class, I do it because a lot of times I've learned that this is a class for people who may not necessarily like math. And they keep asking me, well, what do I got to make on this test? Or if I take this or if I do this, is it going to make my grade go down? And I figured instead of me asking, everything you do is just going to make your grade go up. So nothing you do is going to make your grade go down. Everything you do is just going to make your grade go up. And that's what I'm going to keep telling you. Everything you do makes your grade go up. So as long as you're doing something, what's going to happen to your grade? It goes up. Okay. So that's why I have this class formatted. All right. Any other questions about our course, accessing Brightspace, finding the Pearson? Yes. Yes, it'll tell you in the instructions if you need to. Yeah. I think our internet and Brightspace it's a large platform. And I think the amount of internet storage, whatever our capacity may be, sometimes is too much. Okay. Well, if you have any questions, please communicate. I cannot help you if you don't communicate with me. One of my surveys that I got from a student was I wasn't accessible. Well, you never emailed me. You're online. I don't know how I can make myself more accessible. If you never come to my office hour or if you don't ever email me, that's the only way you can be accessible. I can be accessible, right? Communicate upfront. Don't wait till a problem happens, then try to tell me what happened. Tell me beforehand so we can try to work through things. It's going to be a great semester. I'm here to help. Again, your grade can never be any lower than what it is. Everything you do is going to make your grade go up. All right. If you're working a math problem and you need my help, you can always send it to me and I can look at the problem. I can tell you exactly, but make sure you're trying using your notes and strongly encourage you to keep a notebook for notes and a notebook to do your work for my math lab. And that's all I have.